Good morning and welcome everyone to another segment of VTF Live. We are very excited as it has been another exciting week for the beginner track interns. I would like to introduce myself. My name is Karthikeyan Ramaswamy. I am the manager of technology and development at Virtually Testing Foundation. And I would also like to introduce Melry Vega, the director of operations and management at Virtually Testing Foundation.
Hello, everyone.
Alright, awesome. By now, you all know that Virtually Testing Foundation is a non-profit volunteer run organization since 2012. We neither sell products, services, or data. Our only goal is to serve the community. Our mission is to offer beginner and advanced internship which will benefit the community. Also, our vision is to invest in any and all resources that will provide quality learning experience to the community. VTF is first and only unique volunteer-run non-profit organization offering hands-on cybersecurity internship and much more. As you can see, we have 30,000 plus members in our organization, which we are very proud of. And we hope you can also be a part of VTF and gain an immense experience. Currently, we have open positions for advanced internship, and if you are interested, you can go ahead and apply for it. Or if you know somebody who is interested, you can go ahead and share this amazing opportunity with them. Okay, now let's recap what the beginner tracks have learned in week 1, 2, and 3. Over to you, Mary.
Thank you, Karthik. In week one, our interns have learned about MITRE attacks and cybersecurity foundations. We know that MITRE attack matrix contains a set of techniques used by adversaries to accomplish a specific objective. Those objectives are categorized as tactics in the attack matrix. The objectives are presented linearly from the point of reconnaissance to the final goal of exfiltration or impact. Looking at the broadcast version of attack for enterprises, which includes Windows, Mac OS, Linux, Azure, Office 365, Google Workspace, and many more. These tactics includes reconnaissance, resource development, initial access, execution, persistence, privilege escalation, defense evasion, credential access, and discovery, and many, many more. For business etiquette, our interns have learned about how to do business communication by using the APA guidelines. For week two, our interns have learned about vulnerability management. With vulnerability management, it is a recurring process of identifying, classifying, prioritizing, mitigating, and remediating vulnerabilities. This overview will focus on infrastructure vulnerability and the operational vulnerability management process. This process is designed to provide insight into our environments, including the vulnerability workflows, promote healthy patch management, among other preventative best practices, and remediate risks, all with the end goal to better secure our environments and organizations. They learned that the purpose of vulnerability management is defined as a consistent process to identify, document, categorize, manage, and remediate all vulnerabilities that impact the systems in order to reduce the risk relating to security vulnerabilities that could impact the achievement of the organization's goals. For business etiquette, our beginners interns have learned about time management. They also learned that it is important to have time management and its process by organizing and planning on how to divide their time between projects and tasks. With this skill, they are able to work smarter, get things done as efficiently, effectively, and productively. For week three, our beginner interns have learned about OSINT, or Open Source Intelligence. If you've heard the name but not wondering what it means, OSINT stands for Open Source Intelligence. which refers to any information that can legally be gathered from free and public sources about an individual or organization. OSINT is done by gathering publicly available sources of information about a particular target that an attacker or a friendly penetration tester can profile a potential victim to better understand its characteristics and to narrow down the search area for possible vulnerabilities. Without actively engaging the target, the attacker can also use the intelligence produced to build the threat model and develop a plan of attack. Our interns have also learned about Shodan, which is Sentient Hyper Optimized Data Access Network. It is a search engine designed to map and gather information about internet connected devices and systems. Shodan is sometimes referred to as a search engine for the Internet of Things. Applications of softwares include market research, vulnerability analysis, and penetration testing, as well as hacking. For business etiquette, our interns have also learned about overcommitting. One of the worst habits of overcommitment is to create overcommitting things in regards to accepting different tasks. When you really need to catch up on sleep or take care of other personal responsibilities. But of course, instead, you say yes to every project that comes to your plate. Fortunately, there is a strategies to quit overcommitting yourself, and although it might be difficult to break a habit, it is undoubtedly achievable. There is nothing rude about taking care of ourselves because we need to. And lastly, for the network visibility, we asked our interns to post about what they have learned each week. Over to you, Karthik.
Thank you, Mallory. Now let's see what interns have learned in week 4. For the cybersecurity hands-on task, interns were introduced to network security. So network security protects your network and data from breaches, intrusion, and other threats. This is a vast and overarching term that describes hardware and software solutions, as well as processes or rules and configures relating to network use, accessibility, and overall threat protection. Network security involves access control, virus and antivirus software, application security, network analytics, types of network related security, endpoint, web, wireless, firewall, VPN encryption, and much more. Network security is vital in protecting client data and information, keeping shared data secure, and ensuring reliable access and network performance as well as protection from cyber threats. Next, interns were introduced to PFSense. So PFSense is free, customized distribution of FreeBSD that can turn an old computer into a full-featured router and firewall. PFSense is very flexible and can be easily be adapted to numerous applications, ranging from a home router to a firewall for a large corporate network. PFSense is easy to install and maintain, offering a very useful web-based user interface. PFSense includes many features that are often only found in expensive commercial routers. Next, interns were introduced to Security Onion. Basically, Security Onion is a free and open source Linux distribution for intrusion detection, security monitoring, and log management. It includes CyberChef, Network Miner, and many other security tools. The easy to use setup wizard allows you to build an army of distributed sensors for your enterprise in minutes. At last, interns learned about SCAPI, which is a powerful interactive packet manipulation program. It is able to forge or decode packets of a wide number of protocols and send them on the wire, capture them, match requests and replies, and much more. For the business etiquette, the interns learned about Scrum. In short, Scrum is a framework for effective collaboration among teams working on complex products. Scrum is a type of agile technology that consists of meetings, roles, and tools to help teams working on complex projects. collaborate, and better structure and manage their workload. Although it most often used by software development teams, Scrum can be beneficial to any team working towards a common goal. And in network visibility task, as I had said before, we ask the interns to post about what they learn each week and also connect with their peers. Now let's see what interns have learned in week 5. For the cybersecurity hands-on task, interns were introduced to endpoint security. So endpoint security is the practice of securing endpoints or entry points of end user devices such as desktops, laptops and mobile devices from being exploited by malicious actors and campaigns. Endpoint security systems protect these endpoints on a network or in the cloud from cybersecurity threats. Endpoint security has evolved from traditional antivirus software to providing comprehensive protection from sophisticated malware and evolving zero-day threats. Organizations of all sizes are at risk, from nation-states, activists, organized crime, and malicious and accidental insider threats. Endpoint security is often seen as cybersecurity's frontline and represents one of the first places organization looks to secure their enterprise network. As the volume of and sophistication of cybersecurity threat has steadily grown, so has the need for more advanced endpoint security solutions. Today's endpoint protection systems are designed to quickly detect, analyze, block, and contain attacks in a progress. To do this, they need to collaborate with each other with other security technologies to give administrative visibility into advanced threats to speed detection, remediation, response times. So, why is endpoint security important? An endpoint security strategy is essential because every remote endpoint can be the entry point for an attack, and the number of endpoints is only increasing with the rapid pandemic related shift to remote work. According to Gallup poll, a majority of US workers were remote in 2020, with 51% still remote in April of 2021. The risks posed by endpoints and their sensitive data are a challenge that's not going away. In the business etiquette task, interns learned about effective communication and had to present a video for it. So, effective communication is the process of exchanging ideas, thoughts, opinions, knowledge, and data so that the message is received and understood with clarity and purpose. When we communicate effectively, both the sender and receiver feel satisfied. Communication occurs in many forms, including verbal and non-verbal, written, visual, and listening. It can occur in person, on the internet, on forums, social media, and websites, over the phone, through apps, calls, and video, or by mail. For communication to be effective, it must be clear, correct, complete, concise, and compassionate. We consider these to be the 5 C's of communication, though they may vary depending on who you are asking. So, the benefits of effective communication. The benefits of effective communication can be witnessed in workplace, in an educational setting, and in your private personal life. Learning how to communicate well can be a boon in each of these areas. In the workplace, effective communication can help you manage employees and build teams, grow your organization more rapidly and retain employees, benefit from enhanced creativity and innovation, build strong relationships and attract more opportunities for you or your organization. In your personal life, effective communication can lead to improved social, emotional, and mental health, deeper existing connections, new bonds based on trust and transparency, better problem solving and conflict resolution skills. As I had said before, in network visibility, we ask the interns to post about what they learn each week and also to connect with their peers. So now let's see what interns have learned in week 6. Over to you, Mallory.
Thank you, Karthik. This week, for week 6, our beginner interns have learned about web application security. Now, what is web application security? Well, we taught that web application security, also known as web AppSec, is the idea of building websites to function as expected, even when they're under attack. The concept involves a collection of security controls engineered into a web application to protect its assets from the potential malicious agents. Web applications, like all software, inevitably contain defects. Some of these defects constitute actual vulnerabilities that can be exploited, introducing risks to organizations. Web application security defends against such defects. It involves leveraging secure development practices and implementing security measures throughout the software development lifecycle, ensuring that design level flaws and implementation level bugs are addressed. Why is the security testing important? While web security testing aims to find security vulnerabilities in web applications and their configuration, the primary target is the application layer. With an example, what is running the HTTP protocol. Testing the security of web application often involves sending different types of input to provoke errors and make the systems behave unexpected ways. These so-called negative tests examine whether the system is doing something it isn't supposed to do. It is also important to understand that web security testing is not only about testing the security features, an example, the authentication and authorization, that may be implemented in the application. It is equally important to test the other features that are implemented to secure a way, for example, business logic and the use of proper input validation and output encoding. The goal is to ensure that the functions exposed in the web applications are secured. Now, what types of testings are there for web application security? There are different types of web application security tests, such as Dynamic Application Security Test, or DAST, Static Application Security Test, which is SAST, Penetration Tests, or Runtime Application Self-Protection, RASP. These tests are involved in application security to approach the encompasses of a number of technological techniques to instrument applications that will do attacks and monitor them as they are executed so they can ideally monitor and determine the vulnerabilities. Now, by identifying the root causes of the vulnerabilities, mitigating controls can also be implemented during the early stages of the SDLC to prevent any issues. Additionally, knowledge of how these attacks work can leverage the target known points of interest during the web application security testing. Recognizing the impact of an attack is also the key to managing the firm's or organization's risk, as the effects of the successful attack can be used to gauge the vulnerability's total severity. For business etiquette, our interns have learned about team conflict management. Now we know that conflict isn't a new concept for us humans. You likely have experienced conflict in all facets of life, and work is no exception. Your team is made up of people with all different personality types and viewpoints, which is likely what makes you so productive and effective. But on the flip side, clashing personalities can give a rise to conflict. You won't always see eye to eye with your team, and that is okay. Believe it or not, conflict can be a positive thing. With good conflict can be a driver for change, new ideas, and improvement. But bad conflict, on the other hand, is what you want to avoid. Bad conflict lowers team energy and morale and creates a toxic environment. And as a manager, you need to be equipped to handle both and deal with the conflict effectively, efficiently, and productively. What is conflict management? Workplace conflicts is a state of disagreement among employees. It arises because people have their own mindsets and values, goals, needs, and interests that may clash with others. With conflict management, it is the process of reducing the impact of these conflicts and preventing them from escalating. When you manage a conflict, you need to identify the underlying source and take course of action that works best to mitigate the situation. While preventing conflict is nearly impossible, you can and should manage these effects. Managing conflict is pretty tricky. It requires the ability to tackle issues head on with high degree of sensitivity and empathy. Managing these conflicts is a core competency of many leaders. There is no surprise on how you manage your team, especially when conflicts arise. Will have a significant impact and effect on the workplace environment and how the team works together moving forward. Let's look at 5 skills that will help develop your conflict management expertise. These skills include communication skills, stress management, problem solving, emotional intelligence, and teamwork. As discussed last week, communication is key. Everyone can communicate. The ability to communicate effectively, however, is a skill only a few people master. You might be the most insightful, experienced, or skilled member of your team or department, but you'll easily find yourself in a conflict with coworkers if you can't communicate effectively. Now, with stress management, according to a recent study, workplace stress costs about 300 billion annually in lost productivity. It is also no surprise that it can lead to conflicts at work. Stressed workers are generally more irritable and high strung. As a result, stress can also cause simple disagreements to erupt into a full blown conflict. Does your workplace or team breed a culture of stress? Everyone's under tight deadlines, and it's important to teach your company and team's goals, but pushing people too hard is often counterproductive. As a manager, you'll also need to watch out for signs of burnout among employees or team members and act swiftly on them. With problem solvings, we know that problems arise at work and are very often caused by the different attitudes and temperaments of people working together, and can range from simple complicated conflicts. For example, there may be someone on the team who is struggling to finish their work on time. As a result, the rest of the team is being held up. This can cause a lot of friction, but it is important to understand that why. Perhaps the person is struggling to deliver work on time as a result of a major life transition or family illness. How do you solve these types of problems in the workplace? Well, the first step is to solving any problem is to identify the source of the issue. With emotional intelligence, it is a powerful skill that is made up of many competencies, and when mastered, it helps communicate effectively, empathize with others, and de escalate conflicts. Workspace conflicts can trigger strong emotions ranging from indifference to disgust, anger, sadness, as well as contempt. Those conflicts can cause employees or team members to feel like their value has diminished and their position in the workplace is threatened. These are important emotions to consider. Emotional intelligence allows you to assume the viewpoints of each aggrieved party and assess the reasoning behind their position on the issue. It also allows you to counsel the compassion without being rude, condescending, or forceful. That's not to say that emotional intelligence only comes in handy when there's already an existing conflict. A manager with emotional intelligence can also help keep lasting peace in the workplace by recognizing potential emotional flashpoints and moving quickly to resolve them before any conflicts arise. And finally, teamwork. We know that teamwork makes the dream work. Each team members bring a different combination of insight, skills, and perspective and personality to the workplace. As a manager, you're responsible to fostering an environment that allows all these people to come together and thrive despite their potential differences. Here are some tips that can help achieve this cohesion. We need to help define each team member's goal clearly, and we also need to set team goals and get everyone to buy into the team goals by meeting the team members by both as a group and one-on-one to help realize that they need to achieve the individual and team goals and how they stand and benefit from them. For network visibility, we have taught our interns to post what they have learned each week, as mentioned earlier. And we also know that we help them customize their profile so that they can attract hiring managers and have a potential of a good first impression. Because we know that today's professional services have adopted digital techniques, and with visibility levels across the marketplace, it is becoming more important for firms and organizations to maintain a visible and online presence. We understand that LinkedIn has more than 830 million members worldwide, including more than 250 in North America. It goes without saying that any professional who wants to develop, monitor, and nurture connections must have a presence in the go to social media networks such as LinkedIn or Twitter. But it really is more about just being there. To get the greatest return for our interns' investment, there are certain factors that matter more than others, and the ultimate goal is always growth, personally and professionally. And with customized profiling in LinkedIn or Twitter, they will have a higher chance of being attracted to hiring managers. Over to you, Karthik.
Thank you, Melody. Alright, everyone, that's it for our live today. Thank you, everyone, for joining us this week's live. To follow along with our beginner track interns, please visit our VTF.academy website, and also please check out our website virtuallytestingfoundation.org and follow our social media page to stay tuned for information and announcements on our future beginner track curriculum for 2023. We are very excited about it. Take care, be safe, and see you all at our next VTF live session next week. Have a wonderful day ahead. Bye, everyone.
Thank you. Bye, everyone.